Welcome to Story Kids!
Welcome to our cozy Storytime channel. Let's start our magical bedtime story. Are you ready for an adventure?
Tim was an elf who lived in a big oak tree with his grandpa elf. They were the only two elves left in the forest, and they were very sad about it. One day, Tim found a tiny box under a bush. The box had a beautiful blue ribbon around it. Tim took the box home and asked his grandpa to open it. Grandpa Elf opened the box and a tiny voice said, "Make a wish." The box contained 3 tiny wands. Each wand was more beautiful than the last. Grandpa Elf picked up one of the wands and whispered something into it. Suddenly, the forest around them came alive with the sound of birds singing and flowers blooming. "Oh, my goodness," said Tim. "These are whispering wands. They bring the forest to life." Tim took one of the wands and closed his eyes. He wished for all the animals to come back to the forest. When he opened his eyes, there were rabbits hopping around, deer grazing in the meadows, and colorful birds flying overhead. Tim and his grandpa were so happy to see the forest come back to life. As the years passed, Tim used the whispering wands to help the animals in the forest. He helped the rabbits build their homes and the birds care for their young. One day, Tim was walking through the forest when he heard a tiny voice. "Please help me. Please help me." Tim followed the sound and saw a little squirrel trapped in a bird's nest. The squirrel was too small to climb out, and Tim knew he had to help. He took out his whispering wand and whispered into it. In an instant, the walls of the nest opened up, and the little squirrel tumbled into Tim's hands. "Thank you," squeaked the squirrel. "I'm so grateful you saved me." Tim smiled and scratched the squirrel behind the ears. "You're welcome," he said. "It was no trouble at all." The squirrel looked up at Tim with big, grateful eyes. "I want to help you too," he said. "How can I do that?" The squirrel thought for a moment. "Well, I'm very good at climbing trees. If you need to get somewhere quickly, I can take you there." Tim smiled. "That would be wonderful," he said. "Thank you so much." And from that day on, the squirrel became Tim's friend. And together they helped all the animals in the forest. One day, Tim and his grandpa were walking through the forest when they heard a loud crash. They turned and saw a young deer stuck in a muddy hole. The deer was struggling to free himself, but the more he struggled, the deeper he sank into the mud. Tim knew he had to help. So he took out his whispering wand and whispered into it. In an instant, the ground beneath the deer's feet hardened into a bridge. The deer carefully walked onto the bridge and stepped out of the hole. "Thank you," said the young deer. "I'm so grateful you saved me." Tim smiled and nodded. "You're welcome," he said. "I'm just glad I could help." The young deer looked at Tim with gratitude in his eyes. "I want to help you too," he said. "How can I do that?" Tim thought for a moment. "Well, I know these woods like the back of my hoof," he said. "If you ever need to find something or get somewhere quickly, just ask me and I'll be there in a flash." Tim smiled. "That would be wonderful," he said. "Thank you so much." And from that day on, the deer became Tim's friend. And together they helped all the animals in the forest. Years passed and Tim grew older. He continued to use the whispering wands to help the animals in the forest and make their lives better. He made streams sparkle, flowers bloom, and birds sing. One day, Tim sat down on a nearby log and looked around at the beautiful forest. He realized that he had made the forest a better place for all living things. And he knew that as long as he had the whispering wands, he could keep making the forest a beautiful place forever. The end.
Thank you for watching, little dreamers. We hope you love the story as much as we loved sharing it with you. If you enjoyed the adventure, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss a magical bedtime story. And leave a comment to tell us what your favorite part was. Sweet dreams, and we'll see you next time for another magical tale. Good night.